Yeah, Jim and I have been taking pictures of derelict buildings and places in Sheffield for some years now, and a lot of people don't really understand what we do. Why do you go in old buildings? Why do you put yourself at risk? It's difficult to explain, but one thing that springs to mind, I remember being a child when I lived at Woodseats, and there was a lot of derelict houses at that time that were waiting to be knocked down, and the amazement as a child of going in these places. I mean, I can recall the smells, and I remember going into one and there was like people's pots and pans left behind and tins, and my imagination just ran wild with me, and that's about the only way I can describe it to me, really. That carries through to now. But now we're in the position where we've got cameras and videos so we can share it with other people. We're able to show people things that they may not normally see, which is fantastic. So I always say that we should always remember the people that worked hard to give us what we've got today. And we found ourselves in quite a lot of industrial places and factories. That's quite close to my heart, really, because my granddad worked in Firth Brown all his life. And I know that Jim's got some contacts with people that had worked in Stanley Tools and things. So to show people images from our past, our heritage, it's just a privilege, and it's just such a good thing to be involved in. I've had a few injuries, though, over the last few months. I mean, I've taken the skin off my stomach and pulled my shoulder out and all kinds of things. And it's fascinating, but we don't always see nice, positive things. We've come across some quite unsavoury sites over the last few years, because some of the buildings that we do go in are in quite run-down areas, and we do come across needles and other unpleasant things. But I think one of the things we've discovered in recent times, looking around these places, is the art that's there. Johnny touched on it briefly earlier on about phlegm, some of the phlegm stuff, and that's something else we found, phlegm and Kid Acne and Phonographic and Rocket. The art is incredible. There's a Rocket now. So not only are we seeing our heritage in our past, we're seeing great art by young people that are accessing these places, and it really is a joy.
Well, Hedley's told you why we do it. I'm sure you've all got your own idea of what urban exploration is. You probably think it's this kind of thing, crawling through old buildings, it's got to be dangerous. It doesn't have to be. There's plenty of things that you can find down old alleyways. All that we do, if we see an open door, we step inside. If we see a window, we put a camera in. Anybody can do that. Don't let people tell you that it's dangerous or that it's illegal. It can be illegal, but you can do it without breaking the law, technically. Now, that's an old steelworks. Now, people will tell you that it's illegal to go in there. It isn't. That steelworks has actually got a public footpath through it, so you can go in. If you do your research, you're in no trouble at all. Now, as Hedley said, you don't always get things that you want to see like that. We found that in an old hotel. There's lots of places where you'll see your history. Now, that's Sheffield history. Some of you might know where that is. We can't tell you where it is for obvious reasons, because we weren't supposed to be there. But if you want to see the history as it was lived, you need to go in these places. And as I've said, you don't need to be brave. Just step inside the doorway, take your camera with you, take your phone with you, record what you see. Now, you can always find these places if you look for them, but you don't have to go far. All these are in Sheffield. They're all within a bus ride. In fact, there's a place less than 10 minutes walk away from here that is not only hidden, but overgrown. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in Sheffield. It's called Ward's End. Anyone can walk around it. So if you get the chance, go down there. The more people that go, the more chance we have of these places being remembered. These places are basically where they used to work. As you can see, the tools are still there. There are remnants of people's lives in there. You can learn so much by just walking into one of those rooms that you can't learn from a picture or a video or memories. As you can see, that is probably within walking distance of where we are now. That should be an historical record, but it's not. It's hidden. You can see it if you want to, but you have to make the effort.
It's been bricked up recently, that one, hasn't it, though?
It is, but
but
we have been in worse places.
We went through a door.
An open door.
Very open.
Yeah. We didn't open it at all. No. We've never climbed through a window or took boards off of windows. Never.
No.
We wouldn't do that at all. Not to get a picture. No. But anyway, these are the things that you'll see when you go around these places. A lot of these places are just abandoned. It's like people have just walked out and left things here. You can see simple things like chairs. There'll be personal belongings like teacups, kettles, hundreds of things that you wouldn't normally see like this. We've no idea why that's there or what it was used for, but it has been left there.
That's where Moses' ashes were scattered, isn't it?
Yeah, one of Sheffield's famous urban explorers actually had his ashes scattered in that building. So that's another bit of history that he's added himself. You do see strange things, obviously. Why that was there, where it was, we have no idea. We do laugh about it, don't we?
That was one of the more modern places we went to, wasn't it? Because a lot of these places are, like we said, some of the factories and so on, but we do occasionally get to go in more modern, up-to-date buildings. I'm particularly fascinated by the building from the 70s, built in the 70s. There's a certain hotel in Sheffield, I can't remember the name, where we've been recently, and that's just, I used to work there as a porter years ago, and it's fascinating to go and see it as it was.
That particular picture